Hello and welcome to this Aquarius inspired reading for July 2025. Thank you so much for being here. I am looking at a situation with the help of the symbolism of the tarot cards and the symbolism of Western astrology. I use the tarot as a creative tool for self-reflection. I am not a fortune teller. I will not tell you your future or give you specific answers. I will just look at a picture and different pictures and see what wants to come out intuitively, and maybe we can get some help, some inspiration, and maybe we can uncover some new layers of consciousness. So yeah, let's see, Aquarius and people who identify or are interested in the symbolism of Aquarius, what wants to come out for you at this time? In the first part, I will do a general reading. In the second part, a relationship dynamics. So stick with me. All right. The Prince of Discs, and there was already a Three of Pentacles or Three of Discs looking out, and I was like, okay, this is about work probably, or about making progress in our projects, progress in manifestation when it comes to really physical manifestation where we want to see results. And we might have been in a phase already where we have put in the work and where we are slowly and steadily just trying to do what is there to be done. That's the Prince of Discs. He is really the conscientious worker. He is the slow and steady worker. He knows where to plant his seeds. He knows when to water his plants, and he knows when to harvest. So he really works with the cycles of nature as well. And he has the Taurus here in front of his chariot, of course, as we can see, who is driving pulling his chariot slowly but strongly, with a lot of force, with a lot of long breath and a lot of long-lasting strength. So this is might have been maybe a period of really putting the work in, or also having the focus more on long-term results, on sustainable results, and on really being disciplined about things and doing the things that needs to be done. So this is a really good card when we think of long-term results, when we think of long-lasting value, and when we think of also gathering and accumulating resources for the long term. So now, ooh, wow, okay, we do have Five of Swords. I feel like with the Five of Swords here in the combination, we might have to course correct a little bit. Maybe some strategy hasn't been working, or maybe we have to kind of strategize ourselves through some conflict, maybe within ourselves. Maybe we're asking ourselves, is this working, is this not working? Maybe it doesn't really feel too innovative, I want to say, with the Venus in Aquarius, because this is a Venus in Aquarius card. Maybe we're lacking a little bit of innovation, and maybe we want to really think about, okay, I've been doing my work, I've been doing my job, I've been doing my thing, I have my secure funds or whatever, because this Prince of Pentacles is also, when you look in the back, he's actually carrying the harvest with him already. So he's already working on the next thing with a lot of resources in the back. But maybe we want to think about a little more beauty in the whole situation. Maybe we need a little more inspiration, a little more beauty, a little more ease, which brings the Venus. And we might have to think about that in a more radical way, which would be the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is kind of a radical thinker card that brings moments of conflict within ourselves mostly, but also sometimes on the outside, of course, where we kind of have to cut off some ideas that don't work for us anymore, and that are hindering us to really go a straighter line towards where we want to go, and towards progress also, because Aquarius is always about progress and the future, and also futuristic ideas about thinking out of the box, and Aquarius doesn't like convention so much, and this Prince of Discs is a very, very conventional card in reality. So maybe we want to really find a spot within ourselves where we can really carry out that conflict. Where we're like, okay, this is something that I don't need anymore. This is a strategy, or this is a thing that I just don't really want to carry forward in my mind, and it might be a tough type of moment where it's really like maybe hard to let a way of thinking go, or it might be hard to stick to a certain truth, which is also the Five of Swords, because Five of Swords is also winning at all costs, or really being in an argument where you might have to tell the tough truth, you know, even though it might be hurtful or offensive to other people, but standing in your truth might be a little aggressive. So yeah, interesting. Let's see. Ooh, nice. The Wheel of Fortune. But yeah, it seems like that this is very necessary right now to really stick in that discomfort of figuring out where this mental conflict is happening right now for you and what is lacking, to unlock this moment of the Wheel of Fortune that is kind of the universe taking over and helping us move into the right direction. So it seems like even a little bit of a test for you right now to unlock like new fresh energy, new motivated energy here with the Princess of Wands, which she's representing. She is representing that fire, that going into a new direction. And I feel like it really has been maybe a little bit boring, you know, maybe you've been a little bored, maybe you didn't feel the spark, the fire, the whole like motivation to go into a direction, especially when it comes to work. For some reason it feels very much like a work thing or like a life purpose type of thing. And with this tough decision or this tough kind of conversation with yourself or maybe with others, you might clear out the confusion, because this is really clearing out confusion, even if it's sometimes a little rough, a little extreme way of doing it. But we might clear out the confusion to really step into that lucky moment also. But it's all part of the plan, because when we do have the Wheel of Fortune here, then we're tapped in, and then the universe is kind of waiting for us to also go through this more difficult little stations, because this is a little station. It's not a major arcana, but this is a major arcana. So this is the big station. We are unlocking the big station where the universe can really work in our favor, or the divine plan can work in your favor, and therefore we kind of need to clean out some stuff, and we have to kind of be very honest with ourselves, especially when we're like, oh, this is kind of boring, you know. And Aquarius and boredom, that just doesn't go together at all. It's just not what works. The Princess of Wands brings a very, very real change. The princesses always bring real change because they're in the earth element. Their home is in the earth element, and with these wands energy, there is also this very real spark into a new direction, a really new inspiration into a new direction, and also kind of the courage and also the young, fresh and open and excited and curious energy to just do the thing, to not think too much about it, to just go and do the new thing, experience the new thing, go out and try out new things. So this is something that brings a spark to our lives and a lot of fresh, young life force. All right, let's look at relationships. I don't know why, but I'm so out of breath for the readings I'm doing today. Also the Capricorn reading, but it seems like I want to say so much. So excuse me if I stumble over my words a little bit. Also, please like, subscribe, comment. And yeah, if you enjoy these readings in this channel. So let's look at another person or energy. This doesn't have to be romantic, of course, but it can be. But it is reading about a relationship dynamic that might be challenging or just a little confusing. 2 cards. All right, this other person. Oh, Ace of Cups and the 6 of Swords. It seems like you could be meeting people right now, or there is one specific person that is willing to explore their feelings towards you, or explore a spiritual connection with you, an emotional connection with you. This is a very romantic way of reading this. We have the 6 of Swords and the Ace of Cups. If this is not a romantic thing, you want to maybe now be around people where we feel that they are capable of really giving and finding love and carrying love, and also exploring that concept of love. Because the 6 of Swords is really a card that is about exploring as well in our mind, especially, and how can we really explore the concept of love. First, we of course need to kind of be able to tap into our own source of love, which would be the Ace of Cups here, and then in the next step, of course, we want to share that. So maybe you're just like now dealing with people in general where you can tell like somebody is emotionally intelligent, or they have a lot to give, but they're intelligent enough that they're not giving it just everywhere. They seem like they can really carry a full cup. They're, you know, in a good energy. They're not like Debbie Downers, what have you, and they've explored that. They know a lot about the concept on an intellectual level maybe as well. We do have a Mercury in Aquarius card here, so this is again Aquarius, learning, communicating, and exploring new ways of how to move emotionally, because the aces are always a new way, a new path, a new chance, a new opportunity. So yes, this could be, as I said, very much, of course, a romantic energy, but it doesn't have to be. It could also be that somebody, you know, a family member or friend is like, well, I'm feeling right now good with myself, and I found a new emotionally very full place within myself, and now I'm able to, you know, explore maybe a new layer of our friendship or of our relationship. Maybe we can try this new way of interacting and exchanging, and I have this here for you. What do you think? You know, it could also be an offer where somebody's like, maybe we want to do this a little bit differently. Seems like an offer, which is very nice. So you're here with the King of Cups. Oh, beautiful. You're like, yes, I'm taking that cup and taking it away. I'm just kidding. I hope you're not taking it away, because he's carrying exactly that cup in his hand. So you, for me, it is actually a really beautiful, and I want to zoom into that picture a little more. Beautiful picture of this Knight of Cups, knowing exactly what to do with that cup. Which is a symbol of love, of course, and a symbol of care and of kindness and of openness and of emotional connection. And he is like, yes, I will treasure that, I will value that, I will not, you know, just pour it out. I will be able to carry that forward with me. Thank you so much. Let's see what we can do with this. You know, I will not disrespect that cup. And that's what I see from you, because the King of Pentacles, or in this, oh, it's the King of Cups, I'm sorry. It is the King, it's not the Knight, it's the King of Cups. He is a very emotionally mature person who really knows how to, you know, treasure that type of beautiful resource that is coming our way. So I think relationships right now can be very grown up, very mature, and very respectful. And you might even be like, okay, I'm just only connecting to people where I feel like they at least have this initial like vessel that holds something that is able to give, you know. So that's beautiful. I like it. You might have also romantic feelings for a person, but in general, you want to just treat people's emotions with care and with respect. It's very beautiful. I love that. The Queen of Pentacles, yeah, and very, very stable. Ooh, this can also materialize. You might even be working, you know, as a therapist or artist or some creative of some sort who is very in touch with their emotions, because we have a Queen of Pentacles, and this is like, or there can something can grow organically out of this connection, and it can really materialize in a very stable way, in a long-term way. It's not just like feelings. You can see it in reality in the everyday. The Queen of Cups is really that type of person who can also implement that type of love, because she also represents the cups and the water energy, like all the queens do. She can implement that love on a daily level. She sees everything as a resource that she works with, and she really is good at managing resources. So we can really have something grow organically, and it seems like a very, very balanced moment for relationships in general, but maybe for one specific relationship in particular, where you feel like this is a very equal give and take. This feels very successful. This feels right, and this feels like something that is really materializing in a beautiful way. And I can see that also in the everyday. I really have results. You know, what do I mean with that? Like, I don't know, maybe you have a new partner who is really taking care of you in a way that you always wanted, and you give back in a way that is really easy for you, but also exactly what that person needs. And it's just like a really good combination. For example, I don't know, somebody likes to bring you the coffee in the morning and you like to cook dinner, or somebody is really good at taking the kids to the soccer training, and the other person is really good at you know, washing the kids' clothes. It's like, it's really, even when it's chores, with the Six of Pentacles, I also like thinking chores. In partnerships, it's a very balanced way of give and take, and everybody has their responsibilities that they're doing, and they are really showing up, and that's really nice. So yeah, this, as I said, can also be really, really good for work relationships, where you feel like this is very balanced, but also for partnerships, and I feel like more long-term thinking partnerships, where it seems like you're a good team. Because it's not forced. With the Queen of Pentacles, we do have a lot of stability and a lot of growth, and a lot of material growth as well, where we see the results, but it's not forced. The Queen has good timing. She knows when to, you know, also step back and maybe let things happen a little bit on their own, and then she knows when to act. So that is kind of the difference between the Queen and the King. The King is more like in a constant action type of energy. All right, so let's pull one or two more cards for the whole spread. Versatility, yeah, and I think this is maybe a little bit what's missing, that it doesn't get too stale or too, you know, boring for Aquarius, to keep it a little interesting, a little flexible, a little versatile. It's the Sun in Gemini, and when we have Gemini in a reading, then we want to think about what can we learn, and what can we also learn in conversation with another person. How can we gather more information out of the interaction? So talking could be quite beneficial right now, and just for the fun of it, you know, it's not even, I have to talk about this interesting thing or this important thing, or let's not talk about what needs to be done right now. Let's just have a fun little conversation where we have a little mental ping pong game that is just exciting, or brings a little bit more versatility to the game. All right, one more maybe. Detachment. Yeah, I mean, that is that is a Venus in Aquarius card. That's just as a part of the nature that it might be a good idea to, you know, take your time for yourself, to not get too overwhelmed by the emotions, or not get too overwhelmed by sometimes we do get overwhelmed by a certain sense of stability, especially the air signs, I feel like, because there is not enough problems to think about, and not in a bad way, because air signs just like to solve problems, you know, or like to have that mental challenge a little bit, or that mental inspiration. And I feel like that mental inspiration you could really find within yourself right now more than within a partner or a relationship. So maybe you want to just, you know, the Aquarius people, they like to go into their own little spaces. And then I have 2 Aquarius friends. One is like a big, huge nerd for vintage technology. He loves like everything that is before the 80s or 90s, and he just builds new stuff out of it, and he just like takes it apart and puts it together again. It's like a very, very typical Aquarius thing. And then I have this other really good friend who loves to program everything in his smart home. He's just like, you know, that's his thing. He just like would love to have a robot for everything. So that's so Aquarius. And maybe you know, just detach from people when it's too much and go into your little projects and find the beauty there, because we all need our little cave where we do our little things. All right, so yeah, this is a fun reading. Thank you so much for being here. Please, please, please like, subscribe, comment. Come back next time. Check out the other readings that are online and that I uploaded for the other signs, and also check out my description box. And again, excuse my stumbling over my words. I don't know what's going on, but something is going on in this reading. So thanks for your patience and understanding, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.